NBC Universal for 15 years, worked my way up the ranks from being a tech, you know, going door to door, talking to people, installing their internet, TV, phone, just doing the grunt work. And yeah, started from there, worked my way up to being a technical trainer, doing learning and development, HR, so like onboarding new hires, creating that culture, like just creating a good space for them to like feel like, oh, this is the company that I want to work for and have a career in. So yeah, that's essentially how I got started. And I just took all that and brought it into the real estate space where, first thing I did was invest in my education, my real estate education. I joined Wealthy Investor. That was the first mastermind. Now they're known as Future Flipper, now Wealthy Investor. And then just built a network there, saw that there was a lot of opportunity for me to add value as a group and the collective, to where it's like, hey, these instructors or these coaches need help. So, I would jump on 2 to maybe 5 to 2 minutes before the meeting. And I would just be like the first face you would see as people jumped on the Zoom. And I would just welcome people in. And then that's how I essentially, like, people are like, they're like going to a real mastermind event. They're like, hey, Justin, like, dude, like, so that's essentially like, that was my marketing strategy for me to get people to know who I am. So yeah, if you're joining a new community or mastermind group, if you guys are new to the real estate space, just go to meetups and just take a position where, you're the greeter, like, you just like, yeah. So basically I was like the greeter, and I just encourage people, hey, this is the best investment you made it in your life, because they're nervous spending a couple grand, 10 grand to join a mastermind, and they're just like, what did I get myself into? And just encourage them. So yeah, that's essentially how I started my real estate career, and that's how I became to be a connector, a helper. And I was able to just, when you're a connector, where you have know people that have capital and you know how to find the capital, and then and people know that, they'll bring you deals. So that's how I got involved in, like a multifamily development in San Diego. I was able to bring capital to the table within 24 hours to the closing table. And I was able to basically help my investors invest in a really, really good asset, a cash flowing machine. And yeah, it's pretty much
let's break this down. Let's break down, what we've covered so far, because he just threw a lot at you guys. For those that were listening, he just threw a lot at you. So let's go back to your Comcast days, right? So you said that essentially you were the grunt labor, the sweat equity. You're just putting in the work to make it day by day. And eventually that led you to developing the skills that you have now, that is customer service. It's hard work ethic, is going out there, putting yourself in front of people, making connections, right? All those skills came from doing that. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's how you honed your skill. And then let's go to the next step, where you took the next step in your journey, right, of actually joining a community, which is what I recommend everybody to do. But you took it one step further, and you didn't just join and was kind of just lurking in the shadows or in the side chats. You actually made an effort. And you made an effort. That's what it is. That's all you're doing, is you're making an effort to show up earlier, be there on time, which is early, and be that first face. Like you said, you're the greeter. You're the Walmart greeter of the wealth mastery. So that is powerful. I don't know if you guys are really paying attention or understand that, but by being, what he did was he was familiar to everybody around him. And so when he went to these meetups, everybody knew who he was. Like that that is powerful. You said it in the very beginning, relationship equity. That's exactly what he was doing. Those relationships that you're building and establishing by getting in front of people, like Jada's been doing. She's been crushing it, just going live, just cooking stuff up in the kitchen. She's just getting in front of people. She had 10 people watching her just make some food and screaming from the other room on the live. Like it's great. It's great. I was entertained. I'm not gonna lie. So it's really powerful to just get in front of people. And that's really what I wanted to extract from what Justin just said there. So I think that's a really, really important point. So let's move on from there, right? Let's move on. How you mentioned you got into a multifamily development. Let's kind of circle back all those skills and everything that we kind of just broke down there and apply it to the story of how you got that multifamily development. How did you go from just being in real estate to working on multifamily, and where did that journey kind of start and take you now?
So from there, just networking, getting in the right rooms. I caught wind of this in San Diego. They have complete communities. There's a lot of zoning changes because of the housing shortage crisis, right? They have complete communities. They have the sustainable development areas. So, when I heard about that, the only way to build and add homes or housing is to build up. So as soon as I learned about the complete communities, I did my research, I did my due diligence on there, and looked at the zones, looked at the areas. And then from there, it's like, okay, who is in this space? Who's developing? Who's tapping in to this play? So yeah, just networking, finding out, okay, who are the key players? And basically I just busted my way into the rooms where it's like, hey, how can I add value? Like, what do you guys exactly need? And I'm very resourceful. I consider myself a very resourceful person. And yeah, I just basically planted some seeds in their ear, like, hey, like, if it's capital you need, I'm pretty resourceful in finding out who has the capital and who wants to invest because of that relationship equity. People trusted me to tell me what's exactly in their bank account, where their money is, right? So that's essentially like how I knew where the capital is. And you know and with that relationship equity, people are like, Justin, like, I want to do some deals with you, like, let's go. Like, so I would just kind of keep in touch with them, follow up with them, just not pitch them any deals. And then when it came down to like this opportunity where they needed 100K to the closing table and they needed it fast, I was just like, hey man, like, dude, there's this opportunity, man. Like, I think this would be a good fit for you. And, you want to build that passive income. You want to be a limited partner in this deal where you just want to still learn, but you don't want to get too involved because your W-2 job or whatever that may be, where I'm like, hey, I brought the GP and the LP to the closing table. And yeah, I was able to bust my way into the closing table. And yeah, I was able to add as much value as I can to the deal. I ended up also project managing and property managing the asset. So I also put a lot of sweat equity in the deal to help that get across the finish line. And now we're tomorrow, Monday, we're gonna have all 4 units occupied, to help subsidize that mortgage. Because it's with this complete communities, you have to buy it outright in order to get the entitlements put into place. But yeah.
Man, that's awesome, man. I really like where you're taking your business, right? So let's break that break down where you already said even further, right? So I know we kind of glossed over it, but you said that you were able to bring the funding to the deal in less than 24 hours. So for anyone that's in real estate, you should know that's pretty difficult. You said it was 100K. Did I hear that right?
100K. Yeah, they needed 100K to the closing table before escrow.
That
It's
and that's
closing.
pretty
Yeah.
difficult to do unless you have relationships, people like you said, Justin, that trust you. That's what it comes down. It's not about the deal at that point. It's like, okay, do I trust the person that brought this to me enough to just take their word for it that this is the right move for me and the right place to put my money? Like, do I trust that they're gonna do right by me and protect my money? Because really that's what we're all doing. Anybody that's in multifamily or in real estate in some kind of way, you are protecting money, whether it's your money or somebody else's money. You're making sure that you're putting it into smart investments, not just any investment, but smart investments. And that's what I mean by protecting your money. So let's
Fiduciary
go.
duty. Yeah. It's fiduciary duty,
Yeah,
right?
100%, 100%. Because the second you don't take care of it, that's it. That's your relationship. That's your reputation. People talk, and you want to make sure that you're doing right by everybody. It's absolutely critical. It should be part of every business's core values. If it's not, you should just add it in right now and live by it. Really, just
It's
integrity. You can sum it all up into
totally.
integrity. That's really what it is.
This
So
guy in the chat, Alfred in the chat said, "Help me find capital." Hey, Alfred, I have found capital for you, brother. No.
No, I meant to say is you did help. I said he helped me find
Oh, he
capital.
helped me. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, thank you for being a testament to that. Yeah, for sure.
hey, honestly, that's a good thing. We can, at the end of this, we'll open it up for questions, and maybe we do a testimonial from Alfred, and then that way you can see kind of the other end of the relationship as well, right? You always see the front end of the people that are establishing and growing those relationships and being able to put the two and two together, right? Bringing the person with the deal, or if you're the person with the deal and the person with the capital, putting them together. That's usually the stories you hear, but you don't necessarily always hear the other side, the testimonials of those that were involved. So I think that'd be cool if you guys are willing to share that later. I actually have a deal we should talk about after this, so we won't do that here. But I got something for you, man. It might be, who knows? You like Kansas City, Missouri?
I'm familiar with Kansas City, Missouri. Missouri. Yeah,
Missouri.
You might like it after we talk about this deal. So we'll put a pin in that. We'll come back to that later. Jada, do you have any questions before I continue on?
I do. Yeah. So you said that you were, when you decided that you wanted to go into San Diego and into the kind of development space, you're like, okay, well, who are the key players? How did you find those key players? Was it Subto? Was it because of Wealthy Investor? Were you just going to looking up on meetup.com, like real estate meetups, or how did you find those people? And I guess subsequent to that as well, I know that you're always building those relationships with the capital or with people that have capital. How do you start that? I feel like a lot of people think, okay, on the first meeting or on the first call, I'm going to close people. I'm going to close sellers, agents, capital, investors. So yeah, first one is, how did you find those key players? Second one, how long do those relationships typically take in order to start bringing them some deals?
So how I found the particular key players for the complete communities, it was actually just at a local meetup. Yeah. So there are some partnerships you can find at local meetups. Like if you don't have the capital or the resources to invest in a mastermind, just show up to a local meetup and get contacts. Like networking, they say, is like, oh yeah, let me see how many numbers I could collect. But it's also like following up with them, like taking them out to coffee, jumping on a phone call, like how you and I met, Jada. Like we set up an appointment, like, hey, let's jump on a call. Like, let me hear your story. Let's continue to just get acquainted, and then it'll essentially roll into a friendship, and then potential business partners. They say date before you jump into a business partnership. So for the local meetups, that's where I found these partners. And then as for for me finding the capital or building those relationships, so there's two books that really helped me. So it's The Go Giver by Bob Berg. Just they say provide as much value. Like there's principles on there on this book where every day I just do my best. I don't try, I do my best to apply these principles. And like one of it is like authenticity, right? You just be an authentic, real person every day. And I genuinely want to help people like build wealth and just do, help them achieve their dreams. Like, that's the goal, right? To add value. So yeah, once you build that trust and, people don't see that I'm thirsty or hungry, that I just want the capital, because it's not even about that. It's like, because I don't see that money. That money doesn't go to my pocket. That money goes to the deal. And I essentially get a finder's fee, or I get a piece of the equity in that deal. And, it's like, I don't like, they see that where it's like, oh, it's going into an escrow account, or it's going into whatever it may be. So, of course, those are some details and intricate things that, we probably don't need to go over, but building the, those are the two books. And then Raising Private Capital is was Bigger Pockets, where you just essentially like learn how to like just talk to people, how to qualify people, in what they want to do and investing. If they don't have money and they have time, then they could invest their time into a specific deal, leveraging their skill sets from their previous career. Or if it's capital, if they built a nest egg from like a 401k, stocks, etc., right? Where it's like, hey, we could leverage that capital into like a real hard asset called real estate, multifamily, like just the different assets. I like how you're dropping the book. I don't have an affiliate link. Dang it. No, I was kidding. I was just like, but yeah, there's in the chat in Amazon, you could buy those books. But those are the two key books that really, really helped me just get educated. So
That's awesome.
definitely get educated on that.
To be a little more specific too, what local meetup did you go to? Was it a Subto meetup? Was it a real estate meetup? Or was it just like an e-commerce kind of thing? Or, you guys were playing Frisbee? Like what kind of meetup was it that you went
No,
to?
it was a real estate meetup. So it was funny. So it was a meetup in West Covina, where like my friend, he was doing an out-of-state meetup. He wanted to educate people on how to invest in the Midwest and Indiana. Yeah, in Indiana. So he had flown out an agent an agent from Indiana. And basically they just talked about like just the growth of Indiana and why it's a great place to invest in. So yeah, my friend was organizing that, and I was just there to just see how I could help. And the people that happened to be doing that lived in San Diego, they came up. That's actually where I met Alfred too.
Yeah, he said
yeah. So I met Alfred there, and like I met him at a meetup prior to that, but it was like hey, what's up? Type where we didn't really talk, but then you keep on going to these meetups and you see these familiar faces, and then you just like, hey, let's talk a little bit longer, like and now like me, I consider Alfred one of my boys now. Like, yeah, we're at WealthCon together. We're in the same circuit of friends, and that's what it is. You have to be consistent and just show up.
Mm-hmm. And then if you like, let's say people are going to these meetups, or let's say they haven't gone to as many meetups as they wanted to, like how you were saying, you take people out to lunch or give them a phone call. What kind of, I guess, reason can you give for those? Because I can see some people saying, I met this wonderful person and I really want to like keep that connection going, but I don't know what the next conversation would be. Like, I don't remember if they had talked about their family or if they had talked about a deal going on. Like, would you just call someone up, say, hey, what you got going on? You were on my mind. Or like, how do you start those?
if you do meet up, like, you just talk about, like, if you have similar interests, hobbies or whatever, it's like, hey, you're into pickleball, you're into golf. Hey, we should go golf or play pickleball or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, or like jujitsu, I've been in Vegas like not even a week. I'm already doing jujitsu trading. I did kickboxing with some of the staff here, and just building relationships with these with Ryan Pineda's staff, doing other outside curricular activities. And when you're doing jujitsu and when you're punching and kicking someone, you got to be really close. Like you're getting very somewhat like not intimate, but like, yeah, you're crossing some boundaries for sure, right?
If you weren't close before, you would be after.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that just going, just really genuinely wanting to get to know the person, just like when we're cold calling people, right?
Mhm.
We want to know the seller. We want to, like, as Pace calls it, find the bunnies, see how we could add value to their lives, because that's essentially what it is, right? How we could add value to their life. And with this, the current state of the market, there's a lot of FUD, a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Um, Not a lot of people are buying. Sellers are afraid to sell because now they have to buy into a high interest rate.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of like factors where the market isn't as hot, but at the same time, if we just continue to stick through it and stick together as a community, we're gonna definitely like make it through this storm or this season in the real estate space.
Cool.
Voice freeze. I know. Hello.
Yeah, I hear you. Your screen froze, but we definitely hear you.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah, now we see it.
No. Okay. Well, cool. So from what I got from that was, genuinely take an interest when he's gone, when talking or meeting people. It's not always just about what do you do? Hey, he's back. But yeah, going into people's hobbies or like, more in depth. Don't have such shallow conversations.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think all the sales people are jumping on their computers right now and it's bogging down the network. Yeah, they just broke from a break, or they just got from a break. So sorry about that. Where did I cut off anywhere?
No, it was going good. I think it ended towards when you were already ending. So it was good timing. And
perfect.
No worries, man. Between me and Jada, our internet is awful. I don't know how we even host a podcast or anything like this, just because our internet is both so bad. I do have a question. I think people will get a lot of value out of this question or out of the answer, really. So you talked a little bit about the development deal that you had worked on, and that's already completed, right? Yeah, I think you said that they're already starting to lease up for those units.
Oh, no. So we're in the first round. So it's a fourplex, right? So actually, Alfred, shout out to Alfred. His wife is property managing it. I was like, I don't want to property manage anything. Like, that's like, you gotta the who, not how, right? You have to
100%.
you got to delegate that out and focus on bigger picture things. So it's in the entitlement phase. It's already, plans are submitted to the city. The plan is to tear down in February and then just start building. And then by 2024 ish, and like the end of 2024, that's when everything will be built. And then, some hopefully, stabilized. And well, the plan is to get some, some pre-leases, right? Get people, ready to, move in.
What size units are you guys building on top of that?
So they're going to be 49 units, and then they're going to be like, so the GP, he's experienced in the hotel space. So these are going to be, small units, probably ranging from 4 100 square feet to 500. And, one bed, one bath type deals, or some studio apartments as well. So yeah, it's in the heart of, well, it's in North Park in San Diego. It's an up and coming area. The demographics it's young professionals. It's a hipsterish town, or not town, but hipsterish part of San Diego. There's like just everything's walking distance. So San Diego did a whole redid their infrastructure, widen up the bike lanes, put all these roundabout circles, and they're really employing people to be more green and do more walking, e-bikes and things like that. And using the transit system. So that's how we're able to get away with not paying for parking.
So let me ask you this, man, because I'm sure a lot of people have never done something like this, or maybe don't necessarily know how to structure it. But correct me if I'm wrong here, right? But you didn't find this deal yourself, right?
No.
Okay, you didn't find this deal yourself, and you didn't put your own money into the deal, correct?
Correct.
So you got into a deal with none of your money, and you didn't have to find the deal. So essentially the deal came to you, and you were able to structure yourself into that. Do you mind breaking down what that looks like on your end and how you guys set it all up? Because I think a lot of people, like a case study, right? A lot of people get a lot of value out of case studies is what we have found to be true. And I think the more that we can break that down, obviously, it's still in progress. So we don't want you to give out any specifics or anything that you can't give out. But what you can, I'm sure the audience would love to get more insight into how that could be structured for somebody.
So yeah, structure it as a JV agreement. So there's several ways you could do it. You could just do it as a flat finder's fee. If you need that today money, right? You could just say, hey, if I bring you 100K, I want a percentage out of that 100K. This is my finder's fee. So like my biggest finder's fee for capital connecting, I made $5,000 just for introducing two people together. But also, you have to really vet the operator. You have to make that they're going to execute, because on the capital side, they're putting their that. There's a lot of twists and turns. So JV agreement. Here's my finder's fee, or like, hey, I want a piece of this equity. Like, like what is the equity structure? Or I just want shares in the LLC. It could just as long it's all negotiable. So depending on how much capital you raise for the deal, or how much you bring into the deal, that's where the equity is going to be based on. It's a sliding scale, so it's really hard to gauge and give a specific number. But yeah, you just have to do your due diligence on the deal. Like you have to study that pro forma, and remember the pro forma it's just projections, right? It's the hope that it's going to perform according to that pro forma.
Yeah, and you cut off a little bit at the beginning, but I'm pretty sure I heard and knew where you were going with it. The part that cut out was you said you had to vet, and then I assume that you said you have to vet the operator, the person that's going to be running the deal, and also the people that are bringing the funds, right? Because people will say all day, and this happens all the time, that they are a buyer, that they've got money, that they've got 5 million liquid or whatever it is, right? People will tell you that all the time. And 80% of it is not true. But you have to really dig deeper into those things. And it's just about asking questions, and kind of like the whole point of this conversation, right? It's just about truly building that relationship. Is there anything else in there that I missed during that cutoff part? Because we heard you when you came back, and you were kind of completing that statement and talking about how it's a sliding scale, how it's different on each deal. It's dependent on what value you're bringing, and not only monetary value, but also what kind of like sweat equity, what kind of other kinds of roles can you take take position in that deal, whether it's being just a boots on the ground for the property, just being the guy if someone needs to go there, right? That's an opportunity or a role. Or maybe it's just being the guy that knows what to do, and you don't necessarily have to do anything, but you are the one telling everybody what to do because you have the most experience, right? It just kind of depends what you can bring to the table. Did I kind of sum up everything that you were talking about there? Okay.
That was really good. You're a really good interviewer, and you hit it nail on the head to summarize that. Yeah, because I could be scatterbrained. And,
No,
but
I'm
that's the gist of
the
it.
same way. I don't know how. Sometimes, man, when I just have to, it just happens. But most of the time, like when I'm the one doing the presentation, I'm all over the place, and sometimes I can't even get one thought straight. So yeah, it's just part of doing it. I've done so many of these, so.
Yeah, but no, that's exactly what it is, right? You just it's definitely a sliding scale, and just you got to leave. You got to be flexible. There's always, just like the same principles when we're cold calling. When we get into a contract with a seller, now we're dispoing it. It's like you got to go back to the seller. Hey, I'm not finding any buyers. Like we got to negotiate. So you got to be willing to be able to communicate that to both the buyer and the seller. So yeah, I've just taken it to, just those same core principles of, finding a deal, closing a deal, and then dispoing it. And now it's just like, okay, I found the capital, I found the deal, now I have to dispo it. But you have to definitely do your due diligence. And, shout out to Mel Palmer. She's starting this due diligence process where it's a service where she's going to bring everyone to the closing table, and she's going to just make sure that the deal is a solid deal. And, it's going to help a lot of the new investors that are, it's going to help the new investors identify who's a good operator. So yeah, shout out to Mel Palmer, the due diligence service that she's providing. Because I've been burned
Damn.
some capital because I was new, and I didn't I trusted, but I didn't verify. And that's probably like key takeaway out of this conversation.
I think we lost him, but same.
Man, between all three of us and our internets, we might have like one good internet if you put all three.
One okay.
Yeah, one okay, not even a good one, but one okay one. Let me bring you back up here. There we go. Oh, you're muted.
I do not what's going. I'm so sorry, but yeah, that's essentially just trust and verify, do your due diligence, and see how much value you could add. Because multifamily is a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it alone. It's a team sport, and know your position, know your role, and stick to it.
I love it. So I have one more question, but it's kind of like an ending question. So Jada, if you have anything else, I think we'll go with you first, and then I'll close it out there and open it up for questions.
Yeah. Another thing that I kind of wanted to ask about, which I should have thought about how I would word the question. I didn't. But you were saying that right now you are you're in an office and all the sales people just got back. Is this your team or like where are you at? Are you in sales as well? Tell us.
Yeah, I've been in sales. I've been in sales like a lot of majority of my life, like just being a young little hustler, just finding creative ways to from doing people's lawns to doing paper routes, right? Just being the front line. It's humbling, right? You have to you like right now, like I was given an opportunity to, join a team. They needed a closer. And, it's like, taking me back to my roots because, yeah, I'm like a vagabond. I'm like a traveling nomad where it's like, hey, um, so I'm in Vegas right now. I'm at the Pineda company, and yeah, I was given an opportunity to to be a closer for Ryan, and yeah, he sold me. He closed me. He's a killer closer, and yeah, he got me, and yeah, I couldn't pass up that opportunity to be in the proximity of him and what he's doing because he does multifamily as well with his Pineda Capital and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm here, and yeah, it's definitely blessed.
And
And it's
again,
just all from what's up?
yeah, you were gonna, sorry, continue.
No, I'm definitely blessed, and yeah, it's just like just networking and just that's what it is. You just put out as much value as you can out there, and then you know you'll get noticed by some key big players in the game.
Yeah, put out value, be in proximity. You're the one that you said you were greeting people. I know when we were at WealthCon, for every day that you could volunteer, you did volunteer to help with whatever they needed. Whether it was to put up banners and you set up the conference, or to kind of be a bouncer for a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I could see definitely like, okay, wherever you can, like how Justin was doing it, just add value. And then from that, I know that you, WealthCon was last week, so you ended up just staying longer as well too. So it's also staying within proximity of those kind of high level or high degree people, right?
Exactly. Exactly. You hit it right there. Yeah. But yeah, I'm afraid the internet connections are gonna cut off. So I'm just gonna
Right.
That's pretty much what questions you guys have. Like what you put on the chat.
Yeah, I have one last question for you. And then after this, for anybody that wants to ask anything, just raise your hand and we'll get you brought up here in an orderly fashion. So Justin, where you're at now, we've got a good hold, a good idea of where you are. You took an opportunity that's going to put you in the right rooms, and bravo to you, man. That's a great opportunity, and I think it's a great call for you. So where do you see yourself in the next 2 years, 5 years? And, what are some goals that you want to get accomplished relating to the multifamily space, right? Because we are the multifamily team, right? We love multifamily. So relating to multifamily, what are your goals and visions, kind of surrounding that?
So my goal is to continue to just help people, bring value, help people find their deals, whether help people find their deals in the multifamily or the multi-development space, and just continue to build those relationships, like build my Rolodex of just relationship equity of people that are potential limited partners. So continue to like just build that, just continue to just network virtually. Like this is a virtual meetup right here. So like if you guys aren't in the chat trying to make some contacts and things like that, yeah, exchange some numbers in the chat. They're your potential JV partner, business partner could be very well in this room. But yeah, in the next 2 years, I don't know, who knows? I could be a COO of some organization helping with their multifamily capital raising team. Yeah, I just take it one day at a time, right? I just take it one day at a time. Of course, have vision, manifest things. Visualize like where I'm visualizing where I want to be in a year, and hopefully it's still here in Vegas and doing amazing things with this team that I joined, and yeah, who knows? Yeah, 5 years from now, have a bunch of multifamilies across the country, whether it's just a small partnership, because you hear that saying, it's better to have like a small piece of the watermelon than just one whole grape, right? Because it's all about community, right?
Mhm.
This is what it's all about: building community, building teams, and that's how we grow together and build wealth.
Awesome.
100%. I
Armando,
I know Armando has a question here. Let me get him up here. There we go. Oh, you're muted there. There you go.
All right. Well, hello to everybody. Thank you for doing this. This is really good. New in the site development, I created a company with two partners that are very experienced in the construction business, 20 years and 35 years. And so I've done a lot of research. I've read the Raising Capital by Hunter Thompson. I've joined different groups, but I haven't, I lost a deal. We're building net zero ready homes. So it's kind of like the house of the future. We want to make smart homes, sustainable, green, electrical, solar, sustainable gardening.